Hi, friends. You probably don't know me, and that's okay. But I want to tell you a little story. A few years back, me and my husband were going on about our marriage, and then slowly but surely, I felt him pulling away. And I kind of ignored it at first and just thought, hey, we're busy and, life is going forward. We're both working. We have kids, all the normal things. And so I kind of ignored it at first. But then I could really feel him pulling away hard. And I got a little afraid. The next thing I know, he's telling me that he's in love with someone else. And of course, I freaked out. I was devastated. I didn't know what to do. And then one day, I was praying and I said, God, what do I do? He wants to be with this other person. He's in love with this other person. Like, what do I do? And the thing that I heard was, you love him and you pray for him. Prayer is great. I could do that. Yeah. But I was like, okay, I got to love him. I just got to love him more. So I started by like sending him poems, like writing poems, which I'm not a poet, but I would write him poems and send him messages and tell him how much I love him and send him songs and memes and everything that I could to try to get him to know how much I loved him. I even went as far as to like tell him what I thought he felt. Like, you don't really love her, you love me, you really do want to be with us, you just don't know you want to be with us. And when I say us, I mean the family. And he was like, no, I don't love you, I love her, I want to be with her. And I just kept trying to convince him over and over again. And when that didn't work, the next thing I did is I was like, okay, I gotta love him, I gotta love him. So he was telling me over and over again, I do not want a wife. You want this type of lifestyle. You want this, you want that. I don't want that. I want to be free. I want to live my life the way I want to live my life. I don't want to have to answer to anybody, and I kept saying, that's not what you really want. I remember conversations that we had, and you said that you wanted, to have a family and to raise kids together and all that. I kept trying to bring up the past. And he was like, that may have been what I wanted then, but that's not what I want right now. And so trying to remind him of the past didn't help either. So then I went into, okay, I got to love him. I'm going to go clean his apartment and I'm going to do his grocery shopping and I'm going to cook for him and I'm going to do his laundry and I'm going to do all these things. I have to show him how much I love him. And he was steadily saying, I don't want a wife. I don't want a wife. And he told me that for years and I ignored it. I wasn't listening to him. And the more I did those things, the more I sent the text messages and the songs, and the more I tried to, really love him and do things for him and be dangerously sacrificial in many ways, it pushed him away. He did not want to be with me. He did not want to share his life with me and all that. All that did was push him further and further away. And I remember stopping one day and just saying, what am I doing? He is telling me for years that he does not want a wife. So why am I being his wife? Why am I trying to do this? And so I went back to the drawing board and I said, God, where did I go wrong? And where I went wrong is that I thought that my love would save him. And it's not my love that's going to save him. It was only God's love that was going to save him. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't be a representative of what God's love is. I can be kind and I can co-parent because that's what he wanted. He just wanted a friend and a co-parent. I had to learn, I had to meet him where he was, just like Jesus does for us. He meets us where we are, right? And I had to meet my husband where he was instead of trying to interpret what I thought God meant. Like, I feel like because of my fear of losing him, I interpreted love him and pray for him meant that I was supposed to do all these things when he's clearly telling me, I don't want a wife. I don't want a wife. I don't want a wife. I mean, he told me that. He would get frustrated with me. Like almost not wanting me to do these things for him because he was like, I don't want a wife. I don't need you to do my laundry. I don't need you to go grocery shopping for me. But I wasn't getting it. But I wanted to be the hero. I wanted him to say, "Oh, it's because Melody, her love saved me and all that." And the truth of the matter is, I'm not the hero. God was the hero. And when I took a step back, when I met him where he was at, I tried to be his friend. I tried to co-parent well. When I just kind of paused and quit being so dangerously sacrificial and really asked God to give me wisdom, because that's what I was missing. I was missing the wisdom of that. And I asked God to give me a wisdom how I actually should show up in this. It created space for God's love to save him. Because God's love knows just how far to let a person go. God's love knows when to show up, knows what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. Lots of times, God's love knows that this person is creating consequences for their life, and they have to experience the consequences in order to turn around. In fact, that's the thing my husband said. He told me that it was the consequences that he experienced from doing what he was doing that caused him to pause his life and turn his heart back to God, not to Melody. He didn't say it was Melody's love that turned me around. He was like, it was the hole that I dug and the experiences that I began to have that created the environment where I paused. It was like, what am I doing? So that I could turn my attention back to his original belief system, back to God, and really turn the whole situation around. So I had to ask God to show me wisdom. I had to ask God to show me how to love him in that moment. And that was to be his friend and try to co-parent well with him. I was kind. I tried to be gracious as much as I can. Sometimes I got it wrong. But I really had to reevaluate, because if I'm honest with myself, again, I thought I was the hero. I thought I was going to save the day. I thought I was going to get the glory from this. And it is only God that gets the glory for our story. I hope this helps, because sometimes when you're in crisis, your emotions are all turned up, you're confused. You don't always have the best of logic because your emotions just trump your logic. And so if this helped you, reach out to us. If you need more help, reach out to us at itsnotover.net, and we'll be glad to help you. Thanks.